Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. How long will I stream today? Not too terribly long. I've got something going on later this afternoon that came up last minute, but still have time to stream today. Probably like the usual, 1 to 2 hours. I think ideally what it'll be is I'll see how far along I am on whatever task I decide to pursue today, and if I get to a good stopping point, I might just kind of call it there. Let me get the links sent out to the Discord, because I always forget to do that. Oops. How's my audio, by the way? We doing good? Looking good? I don't know why I couldn't get that word out correctly. Choking too. To a great start. Oh, thank you. Glad to know that it's looking okay. The issue with OBS is that, like, the volumes and the levels that I hear aren't the same ones that you do. So I kind of have to just guess. Or just, like, leave it and not touch it, but I touch it all the time. We're going to be working on more of the puzzle system today. We made some good progress last time, and we're going to expand on that. Go and swap to Unreal Engine. Last time we got it to where we can successfully pick up items. And then use it on whatever. So in this case, it's a door. It doesn't have to be a door. Anything that might need an item. So like a power generator, for instance. And then rather than the door swinging open, it would power on the lights to the rest of the level. And last time we talked about, well, how do we preserve that state rather than just like having this mess of a web of things trying to communicate with each other. And we do it by using this sort of progress flag system. And so this is just a list I made. I will at some point off stream change these from just these nondescripts point A, point B, point C into something a little bit more accurate. And actually give me 1 sec as I get a screenshot of something I need. And the reason being is that I've already kind of designed a rudimentary puzzle layout, which is kind of what we'll be working on now. But I want to save, like, the actual puzzles and the design of them from you guys. I don't want to share it quite yet. That way, when you experience it, you're experiencing it for the first time, and any feedback you have would be closer to the feedback that a player who doesn't watch the streams would have. Although, I think it's fine if you guys see how, like, the back end is being done. I don't think that'll, like, spoil what the actual puzzle is if you just know how I'm keeping track of it. Last time we also discovered an issue where if you don't interact with the thing first and you just try to use it, it's not going to recognize it. So we'll fix that. That shouldn't actually take too long. Doing good, username. How are you? Good morning. I swear it's so hard to make a puzzle because I'm not creative enough to make something cool. I feel like it's it is tough. I feel like you kind of just have to expose yourself to a bunch of different designs of puzzles in other games, and also just trial and error, see what works, see what feels good. Because in this game, in my mind, I'm kind of splitting it up into two types of puzzles. The first one is one that kind of spans across multiple rooms. So for instance, like, let's say a door is locked, and to unlock it, you need to turn the power back on. And you have to find something to turn the power back on. And there's, like, that's really all there is to it. It's pretty basic, and it's kind of more fetch questy. But still, it's more of, like, the entire environment itself is the puzzle. As opposed to, like, the more self-contained stuff that we saw in, like, the early Resident Evil games. Like, there's a clock or something, and you have to move the hands to a very particular position for it to open the door or give you an item or something along the lines of that. For me, it must be something you can do in one widget. Yeah, that's kind of that second one I was talking about. Silent Hill did a lot of that first one, where it's like the puzzle is spread across multiple rooms. If it kind of helps, if any of you have ever been to an escape room, like, those are kind of, those are very puzzle focused too. For me, what I usually do is I start with the environment, and then I work backwards. So I say, okay, the player is in a bedroom. What can I do within a bedroom that would be a puzzle? Like, maybe there is a alarm clock on the stand, and maybe the alarm clock is missing something, or maybe there's a very specific time written down. I don't know. I usually go from environment and work backwards. Hey, Basti, good morning. Currently no way of checking if it's usable within proximity. Have to interact first. So, I think all of my interactable items, the default class, have this collision around them. So if I hit play, will it think I'm interacting with it unless I hit the door? No. So this one, this box here, is the interactable box, and I think it even has a tag. It doesn't. Okay. Let's go back and see what our parent class looks like. I guess parent object. I don't know if they consider just blueprints to be classes, or if, like, that's the right terminology for that. There it is, level prototyping. You're doing good, not up to much currently. That's the best way to enjoy the weekend, honestly. Base class, here we go. Okay, so yeah, it does have this box. And I think I can use this to see when the player is stepped with inside of it. Let me see how the item used on is working. I have a feeling that, yeah, I wasn't using the on overlap. Receives power. I don't remember what this tag was meant to do. This was probably before I came up with the global tracking system. Let's look at the C++ code and see how am I kind of tracking interaction. Okay, so if it just hits an actor, that's interactable. And so in this case, I think what it's doing is it's hitting the mesh, the collision on the mesh. So let's see what its preset is. So it's block all dynamic, as opposed to the box, which is overlap all dynamic. So I think this will work. If we go to the event graph and we do a actor begin overlap, let's just print this message to see if it recognizes when we kind of step within proximity of it. Alright, we saw one message. Okay, it does. The other thing I think I might want to focus on too is that the character should be looking in the direction of the thing. Right? Like, I don't know if the player should be able to unlock a door if they were doing this, is the point I'm getting at. Or even like this, or this. Like, they should be looking at it. I've been good, I've been good. How about you? Which in that case, I may as well be doing the line trace anyway, rather than constantly trying to query, or rather than, yeah, constantly trying to hold the value of what I happen to be stepping inside of. So the reason why I wasn't super keen on doing the line trace stuff last time was because it doesn't work as well when we're in the third person camera angle stuff. But if the player's head is always pointed forward, then it should be fine as long as I let the interactable thing have a collision that expands that high. I just have to make sure I don't put things on like the same, what, Z-axis, the up and down. So we'll do that, rather than using the collision box. I think that's a little bit more stable and already kind of folds into the rest of what we're doing. I'm trying to think if I should override this function so that the widget can call it to get the interaction or the interactable item. And then what I would do is, okay, that could work. Is if I put a boolean here and I default it to false. And we looked at this before. How do we default? Is that even a thing you can do in C++? I'm pretty sure you can do it in Python. Where unless you pass in a unless you pass in a parameter, then it just uses the default. So what I was thinking of is like this bool val is false. And it's obviously wrong here. But the idea is if I just call interact input, and I don't change anything else with it, then it would just go about the rest of this code as this value is false. But if I say interact input true, then it would go through thinking it's true. Let me see if that's something that can be done. I'm gonna Google that real quick. Oh, oh no, that's good. Plus you override function parameters to have defaults. This is more, I think the way I did this last time was I had a function that just called another function, because it looks like you can, but it's not. It's like virtual. Non-virtual default. Void func. We might just do that. Alright, let's do this. We'll keep the interact input, but we'll split it up. Put it above. And we'll just have this return. Call this interactable at line trace. And then it'll recognize that it's not in there yet, and it'll ask me to put it in. Yes. Let's move this to just below our interact one. And what we'll do is we'll have this one be the one that actually contains the code. This one's going to be a lot more simple. We're just going to call interactable at line trace, and I don't remember if I have to specify that I'm the one doing it. And even more simple than that, we can just have this be a single line. And this is void. I actually want it to return a actor. So we go back to this. A actor, and I think it needs to be a pointer. And by doing that, and that makes sure that this matches. Successfully passed 50 hours on Aseprite within the last month. Yeah, the stuff you've been posting is sick. I haven't commented on it too much. I've been meaning to, though. And then what I can do, because this will return right now we're not returning anything here, and we can actually remove this. And let's give a brief description here on what's happening, because I have a feeling that the way I'm doing this, it's going to possibly cause a bug later on. So, return the interactable actor at line trace. If none is found, return last interacted with actor. I can keep that all in the same line, actually. I've already kind of gone over it. Typically, I think you don't want to go over 80 characters with your source code. Not for any, like, compiler reason, but just, like, if you open it in an IDE, the word wrap might make it hard if you have a lot of code on a single line. You left after asking me a question. I'm doing okay. Not too much has been going on that's at least worth talking about. It's still been busy, but a lot of, like, kind of nuisance type busy, if that makes sense. This should hopefully build correctly. What have I been doing then? Like what nuisances? Like commuting and then getting home, making dinner, studying, cooking, like all the things that I have to do to survive, and then like dealing with car issues and like just other just random stuff. What are you studying? A couple different languages. Japanese. I'm studying a bit, and also trying to get better at Latin. I used to speak it a little bit, but then uh, there's no one I know that really speaks it, so I've kind of forgotten a good amount of it. I think it's a fun language, and it's also like the root of most um, of the Roman languages. All right, we're gonna try to build this. Oh no. And if anyone here on Twitch is confused, I dual stream to both Twitch and YouTube. I should probably put that in the title of the videos. I see some people do that, just so it's not as confusing. But these aren't voices in my head. I'm reading other comments. Yeah, where was everybody for the finale of Requiem? Jeez. What's my favorite anime? I'm kind of a normie when it comes to anime, so I'm gonna give you some basic answers like One Piece, Spy Family, and Frieren. So that built, which means now from this widget, rather than just saying um, kind of by virtue of saying this is an equipable item, that means we're going to try to interact with it. And here we do active interaction is valid. So right before we do this, we want to try to get the most recent interaction. So this is going to be, I think, line trace. Crap. I forgot the function name. Interactable at line trace. there it is. And then this will return to us. Why is it doing that? My active interaction. Now, technically, this is also going to set my active interaction, so I don't need to pass that in. But for just sake of consistency and following what's happening here, we will use the one that's returned here. I mean, I might not read it out loud, Basti, but if it's not something I want to start a conversation on, I'll just ignore it. Oh, that's not great. Alright, let's go see what this is. Failed to compile. Why? Hot load error. Okay, I might need to save all of this and then close it. I'm guessing that has something to do with it compiling and then it having an issue trying to reload all the assets from that one recompiling. Nothing too annoying, hopefully. No JJK? No, people keep talking about JJK. I saw the movie, but only because my friends wanted to see it, and then they said, oh, you don't need to watch the show to enjoy the movie. I was kind of confused what was going on, but it was still fun. What is... Oh, let me look up that name, Hoden. Oh, I'm glad I didn't say that. You know it's sus when the name isn't English. Dude, you're missing out. Story of my life. Okay, we've still got some errors. Let's see what's going on here. Current value of 0pin is invalid. Sent is not valid. Did I remove sent from the hunter traits? I might have changed like the hunter stuff on accident as like a demonstration. Oh, no, I didn't change it. I just added to it. There we go. Bananas, pineapple, garlic, and turmeric. That'd be one weird tasting smoothie. Okay. Aha! So now we don't need to interact with the object first. That was quick. I was expecting that to take a lot longer to get to work correctly. We can now remove this. Like conceptually, there's a lot of stuff like that among different cultures. Like, what is the other one? Like Eastern medicine, like traditional Eastern medicine. I think they call like one of them reflexology or something, and then like moxibustion. I don't know too much about it, obviously, but just kind of like the ancient traditions of cultures, I think, are usually kind of cool. Not all the time. I'm trying to find that print statement that I added a while ago. Oh, I was add item used on. I'm flattered. There we go, the prints are gone. We should still be able to interact with this correctly. Well, at the same time, when people talk to you offline, I would imagine a lot of the time it's told in confidence. Okay, so now that we did that, I'm going to add another system to the interactables where we can add it to the progress tracker. Oh, I didn't switch back to Unreal Engine, my B. I'm trying to think where the best place to put this would be. Because I think the ideal is that, kind of similar to up here, how I have these defaults that I can change just from this menu, having just an extra drop down on this, I think is probably what I'll want to do. But then the actual implementation of that, I don't know if it's going to be standard enough to... I need to just start closing some of these. I keep getting lost. All of these are kind of needed. What is this bool with 3 equals? Is that something you're seeing, or is that something you saw and you're asking in general? This, you mean? So let me see if I can remember the best way to do this. So this first one, is this is part of the usable object check. And so there are 3 different types of conditions. The first one is it's just trying to match a name. And so when I have a needed name, like on this door, I say it's a key. And then when I try to use the key on this door, it's given the name of the object I'm trying to use and compares it with the name that it's expecting. If those equal each other, then it does the whole, it does a different branch where it unlocks the door and it thinks it passes. This one is similar, but rather than it being just the name, it's expecting like a password. And so if you enter the wrong password, you do the fail branch. So if we go back here, you'll notice that there is no, like this keypad one isn't checked. And I think we even saw, I'm trying to remember where we saw the pass-fail thing. It was in one of the, commits. I don't think it was in inventory. Take it easy, Basti. Enjoy the movie. Yeah, that's kind of why I've been switching a little bit to C++, but even with like this inventory thing, the thing with this is it's just like, it's hard to do widget stuff in Blueprints, and so I kind of have to use, or it's hard to use widget stuff with C++, so I kind of have to use Blueprints. And so something just as simple as like calling get inventory items, I need these 3 separate nodes to be able to do. Whereas in like C, I can just be like, keep it all in a single line. Even if it's a long line like this, it's just one single line. And that's more helpful to me because I can read it all as one action. And so what I mean by that is like these 3 here are all just to do one thing, but they're taking up 3 spaces, which makes it a little bit more challenging to read what's going on. As opposed to like in C, I could have just been like, oh, this first line is just getting the list of items that the player has. And then they're going through each of them and seeing if it's equipable. Actually, here it doesn't look like it's seeing if it's equipable. Here what it looks like it's doing is it's only getting the item that the player selected of that grid. But like all of this part, this is just to get like the image icon to pop up in that little box. Because like you need to set its visibility to true. You need to actually get the item you want to replace it with. And then you need to get a reference to where it's meant to go, and then actually set the reference. And then here I'm just kind of locally keeping track of whether it's been equipped or not. If there's one bug, you're cooked. Yeah. If it's in C, I can use the C debugger. But I mean, this has worked somewhat consistently enough. But yeah, I might need to revise that a little bit. Where's my item used on? So I think the ideal here is to get the interactable base. Oh. It's not part of this. Is it in the sea? Interactable interface. No. Do I have an interactable base? Where is it getting all of these defaults from? Unless I'm looking at the wrong thing. There it was. Oh, yeah, this interactable base doesn't do anything. This is not the right one. I guess I just don't have an interactable base that's accurate. Yeah, okay, this one just doesn't have a parent actor. We'll see when the demo... Yeah, that's kind of my hope. Okay. Well, for this one, we will just add... How do I add something to this? Oh, here it is. We're going to add a new... we're going to call this... Progress tracker item. And probably want to make this an array also. Make it visible so we can edit it. And then probably do the same thing for unlock with interaction. So this is the keypad one. This one... I don't remember what the use case is for the pass-fail. Been a minute. Unlock on interaction, we're just going to do the same thing. Progress tracker. What was the name? Item. I did this a weird way. So when it checks for success, it checks to see if I didn't fail. Interesting. But here what we'll do... There we go. And what I should do in the Game Master... I'm trying to think. Let me pull up some scratch paper. I plot this out. So we have, so in this case, let's say that rather than it being the door, it's like a power generator, right? I don't know how to draw a generator, so we'll just do like lightning bolt for power. And then this will turn on a light. How do you make a light bulb? And then we have the Game Master, which is where we're tracking our progress. Right now, when this happens, when the power generator is turned on, we're having it right to the Game Master. The next thing I needed to do is turn on the light, and there are a couple ways I could do this. Is either have the Game Master be the one that updates it, or have the actor itself be the one that updates it. And I'm trying to think what the most efficient approach would be, while also trying to keep in mind that I want to be able to kind of use the same code and logic for when the level refreshes. So when the level starts for the first time, this won't have like all of these are going to be reset to 0. The only one that won't be reset to 0 is the Game Master. So what I think might make sense is have this blueprint be in charge of it. And on begin play, it requests its information from the level master and then updates everything accordingly. Rather than trying to have the level master keep a list of everything it's meant to be in charge of, and then also executing on top of that list. Just kind of have that delegated to each of the individual actors themselves. And so kind of the way that would look is, here we are in the game instance. That's what it is, not master. I don't even know if there's a begin play as part of this. No, it doesn't look like it. I mean, I might be able to make one. No, it doesn't look like it either. Maybe because it's like in a consistent state of existence. That kind of solidifies what I was thinking even more. To where here, and begin play, it would request information from the game instance, and then kind of just propagate that down. Go back to where it's succeeding, just here. What I should do no, not a function. I'm gonna make it an event. What could I name this? Yeah, I tried to I tried to nip that in the bud. Sorry about that. Also, good morning. Hope you're having a good day. Still morning, right? Yeah, 11:56. This part's gonna be kind of weird because I'm like half trying to set it so that it's oh, even better. I think in trying to make this reusable, I'm making this more confusing because this is also just like very specifically for the door.
I think the for loop is probably going to be what I should do here. Does this get all of it? No, okay. Then we should get this. And then when this is a success, we all successful interaction. Currently doing shaders. Ooh. That's like, I don't know, always been super intimidating for me. Anything with materials is just like no man's land. Let's get a light. Let's kill the directional light. Run a VHS and CRT shader. It's a bit much, so you're tweaking the values. Yeah, I mistakenly tried to make my own thing when it came to like the monitor CRT effect. But now I know. Alright, let's do this. Make it red. So the next... I might need to design a bigger structure, because now, like, let's say I want this door to, like, power on these lights. I could very directly just give it access to this light, but then anytime I would want to do something similar later on, I would just have to also directly make an implementation for it. So I think ideally what should happen is I have like a list of actors, and then within each actor there is like a triggerable thing. I think I can use the base interactable interface stuff for it. And then just make it like a non-player interactable, but let it be still an interactable that the... Or I could just make a new class, a new interface. Like the indirect interaction. Rather than trying to piggyback off of multiple things. But at least for now, we'll just do the direct way, and then offline I can make the indirect one. Um. Ever wonder how the world is gonna look in 60 years? It's scary to think about, so I don't. I think about, am I going to be able to retire in the next, like, 30? Or sooner. Honestly, I want to retire now. Powered lights. And then what I could do is here, on success. Can't figure out how to get rich somehow, I'll need to work for the next 50 years. Yeah, it hurts. See, it hurts to think about. So the best thing I could tell you is just don't think about it. Why did it not? I'm afraid that I'm gonna like misspell one basic thing and then it's just not gonna work. There we go. The idea here is that when I interact with the door, it should turn all these lights on. You should still be visible, actually. You don't have the tag. Oops, let's kill the directional light. Be awesome if your video would export, but it really doesn't want to. Oh no. Oh! I'm sure that's fine. I'm sure that was supposed to happen. Call that a gameplay feature, actually. Oh, it did save most of this. Oh, good, good. I wasn't expecting that. Tags. It has the tags. Visibility? Did that save? It did save the... Okay, it saved a lot of it. Somehow. Sure. Cool. Don't know why that happened. It did it again. Oh, it was my fix. Send and restart. Yes, and restart. It's because the type checking that I was doing before, I'm no longer doing, which type checking is important. Essentially, it used to make sure that it wasn't non-existent before trying to do it. Now it just doesn't care. What I should do is do this. Yeah, I recognize that this is like one more or a handful more of these active interactions that I need. But only by like 2, and I don't think the line traces are expensive. Okay. Cool, cool. Save all. Got the key. Okay, it did not set it to open. Let's go find, or set the lights on. Oh, unless these are static? No, they're stationary. Stationary should still move, though. Why is my line trace not really forward? Let's go find out. I was hoping I could... So it goes from the pawn view location. And... so the endpoint makes sense. The start point... I wonder if it's using, like, the wrong camera? It definitely looks like it's above my head. Oh wait, when I like strafe to the side it looks a little bit more correct. You can set the duration. Oh, good point. I would assume it's this one. Lifetime. 10 seconds. Actually, was one of those persist indefinitely? We can just set that to true, can't we? Persistent lines, yeah. Um, I guess that makes sense. Is that just where my camera is? How do I show like all the widgets and stuff? And this is that's where the player camera is. No, G doesn't do it. I think maybe what it is it is above my head. Like it's taking it from the top of it. But it just, like, from the perspective we're at, it looks like it's way above my head. When in reality, if we look at it at the side like this, it's still pretty close. So if I were to, like, face straight ahead, and, like, as straight ahead as I can, like, that's about at eye level. It just looks weird, I think. Good question, though. We can go and put this back. Because that definitely would have been a problem. If people were, like, interacting with things, but it wasn't consistent, or it didn't, like, intuitively make sense. Could be the FOV. Oh, yeah. I need to add an FOV slider at some point, also. I think the default is fine, but I'm sure, like, I never care too much about FOV in games. I know some people care about it a lot. So I need to find out if this is even executing, because it might not be. We can do that with just a bunch of print strings. Should also move the key to somewhere a bit closer. Nope, so that's just not executing. Let's move this so we can actually see it. So the reason for that would be maybe this isn't considered a point light. No, it's a point light actor. Oh, it's because this is set to null. The progress tracker item. So we'll call this point A. That might be a problem, but I'm gonna change a little bit of that design anyway. I think it's fine for now. There it goes. That's a bug, though. Ooh, what was that? So what that bug is if I'm in an interactable thing already, and then I open my inventory, it doesn't actually close that. Opening the inventory should close whatever interaction I have already. I'll write that down. Opening inventory should close all current interactions. Is there a way to restart, like, reload the level in Editor so we can see if the persistent thing works? Because the idea is that when you load out of this level and load back in, the door should still be unlocked and the light should still be on. Use the execute command, restart level. Okay.
What's the hotkey for getting the command? Oh, there's the command. It's down at the bottom. So now if I... Aha! It does keep it. Ooh, where am I though? Ooh, what is going on? What? Where's my level? Oh, I'm in a wireframe. Oh, I was just super far down. That's annoying. So when I restart the level, it just spawns me in some random place. That... I think if I had a player start, actually, that would fix that. Because I don't know how it decides where to put the player. I'm guessing that's like 0, 0 or something, where it was putting me up there. But maybe on restart level, it tries to put you where you last were? Unless there's a player start. Let's see if that's right. Get this. Open the door. Turns on the lights. Hey Vile, how you doing? What am I trying to do? Just test the persistence. The idea is that when you make progress in the game, and you load out of this level and load back in, your progress should be kept. Like, if you unlocked this door and you turned on the lights, when you come back, the door should still be open, the lights should still be on. Turn this to lit, execute this command again. And there we go. Sweet. So we're not tracking if items have been picked up, so the key spawned again, but I can't use it again. So not being able to use it again is right. Being able to interact with it like that is wrong. Oh, never mind. It did let me try to interact with it again. Okay. That one we can probably fix today. Core game better be good and have good replayability. The replayability is definitely something I'm trying to work on. Good? Well, you might be asking too much. It's not, thanks. I think what I need to do is have item used successfully set to true. Which means I can remove it from up here. Not what I wanted. This. Nope. Not all, just level. Nope, I fixed it. I fixed the looking down bug. In doing so, I made another movement bug, but it's for the third person stuff. Like, this one, you might notice that that's not how people tend to walk. Like, functionally, it, you know, I can still move around. It's just he's looking the wrong way. And then I can also, I think I can show off pretty easily what the fix to that was. I don't know if it was this one. Oh yeah, it was. It was the control rotation. So when I swapped to first person, I was setting it to true for rotation pitch and true for rotation roll. Apparently that was the wrong thing to do. Although I think in doing that, it's now messing up third person, which probably just means I need to set this to true and those ones also. Your parents. But to answer your question, Hoden, I got my name because I'm the like I've got a lot of older siblings. So a lot of the names my parents had like been planning out, they already used. And when my mother was pregnant, she ran into another pregnant woman. And when she asked what she'd be naming her child, she's like, "Oh, I like that name." And so she stole the name. My name is stolen. Is the moral of that story. What was I trying to do? Oh, right. We're gonna look at the C++ code. If we can fix the control rotation. Hey, Abo. I'm a very good liar and storyteller. Oh, thank you. Oh, no. You have time to study. You have the rest of today. I believe in you. Oh, it's 9:30 p.m. Yikes. That's rough, buddy. I need to look at where was the line of code that I changed that at? Line 299. Here it is. So I set rotation pitch and rotation roll. Those were both true initially. Well, no, I can't even spell. I believe in you, Alba. You got this. Hmm. Something feels a little off. Can't quite put my finger on it. I think you shouldn't add third person because who plays a third person horror game? Well, they added that option in Requiem, and there are some people that like that, although you're not wrong. The third person was mostly gonna be for like debug stuff, or also just like when players die. That's the type of cam that would be used. But you're right, I wouldn't, if that was going to be like the spectator cam on death, I wouldn't need to control it. I would just need the cam to still exist. I generally like the topics to stay on topic. I don't know if there's too much more I want to work on today, because we identified a few bugs, we fixed a couple of bugs, and then we also added the new feature of like the restoring on level. I think probably what I would want to do is, rather than hard code the restorative stuff to be in the blueprint, just kind of have a list of it'd be similar to this, but rather than just getting all actors of class with a certain tag, I would have a component that keeps track of all the actors in the level. Well, actually, that might be kind of tough when it comes to the procedural generation stuff. Because if the actor spawns after this one does, getting all actors of class with tag would still work, but like trying to directly assign it beforehand wouldn't. Okay, we'll probably still use all actors of class with tag. we just might make it the like interactable base class instead. And then I think that would propagate down to its children too. And then rather than just having like a set visibility, I would just have like a trigger function. That way it's the same name across all the interactables. Alright, YouTube chat has already very quickly gone off the rails, so I think that is a good place to wrap up for the evening. Or, I guess the morning. It's still morning time, isn't it? Oh, no, just past it. If any of you are interested in catching more development of this game, next stream is going to be Monday at 7 p.m. PT. If you're in the Discord, there is a scheduled channel in there that updates the scheduled times to your local time zone, so you don't need to figure it out yourself. I will post the new schedule either later today or some point later tomorrow. All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday or Sunday, whatever it might be. Do some cool stuff. Make some cool stuff. And I see you on Monday. Have a good one.